Welcome back to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. I am really tired, but I just wanted to get this video out. We're consolidating here on Thursday, April 27th, 2023 at 7:45 UTC. And Bitcoin is trading at $28,929. Sweet, $30. Nope, 29.20 up. Anyway, Um, consolidating here in this large symmetrical triangle, and 27,782 around 29,800, 27,800, 29,800. So it's pretty large there. And this end is down to about 500. So I've pulled some, I've drawn some arrows on the yellow arrow here is from that height down to this height here, and the aqua arrow is from this height down to that height there, and this red arrow is from that height, that leg down to that leg there. Now I have two bases of this triangle, and the reason was that this was the original base I drew, but then hey, we broke down to the downside and stopped right here. And sometimes we do that. And it just so happens that if you pull a parallel line to that one, where we happen to stop actually coincides with this wick here that was originally outside my the original line that I drew. And sometimes, especially on these larger triangles, you'll get a breakout, a fake breakout to the top and or the bottom. And what it's really doing is just saying, hey, I'm not ready to make a decision yet, but I just want to widen this triangle up a little bit and give myself some more time. So I've seen that actually happen on the larger triangles over and over and over again. I'm just like, geez, man, just make a decision already. So anyway, we'll just leave that at that for the, at that right there for now. But I want to tell you how we got here. I want to look over the course of past couple weeks, actually, um, and you, I'm sure you know all about this craziness we just had. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. I don't want to be on this chart. I want to be on this chart right here. Anyway, back here, back March 17th, 2023, we entered into this ascending triangle marked by this red line on the bottom, the red and green line on the top, and had some nice action from March 17th all the way to the 10th of April, up and down into this, forming a nice, sweet little triangle. And we were getting ready to break out with a target right up to here at about 32,300. And we broke through, started busting a move, and stopped and started a little consolidation, which is great because you don't want to just bust all the way to the top. You want to take your time. Anyway, another ascending triangle, which are typically bullish, right? I don't believe any of that. You know, they're just triangles. They're not bullish or bearish, and they can go either way. It all depends on a lot of factors. Um, so anyway, what ended up happening is we made some moves, perfect moves. That line is from the top. Anyway, you can see that measured move. We broke out perfectly, reached the target right here to the bottom, to the downside. And then we started forming another ascending triangle here in the green. And this measured move from that wick to the top of the triangle, we busted out, came right down to that. And then we continued to cascade down and down and down. Now, then kind of sideways, boring, boring, boring. Sideways, boring, boring action down here at $27,500. Then we started forming some nice, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Anyway, trading right here in this parallel channel, ascending upward, kind of broke down a little bit, went sideways, then we entered this triangle here. Make this bigger. We are on the 1 hour chart. Had a nice little symmetrical triangle here with this measured leg right here. And what did we do? Yeah, we came right up there, perfect, with this green candle right here, and wicked right to the target right there. And then we just briefly, you can see we wicked down here, forming another, starting to form another triangle, but quickly broke out. And from this point to the top of the triangle there, came right up to, yeah, we wicked right there perfectly to that target, and continued upward from there, making another triangle. So we had very calculated moves, little by little moving upward. And anyway, I stopped making my targets there. We started, I noticed a parallel triangle that a parallel channel that we started trading in here, fell out of it a little bit, but then came back up into it perfectly to the top, and then formed another parallel channel out the top of that, and then boom, shot up to the moon there. Anyway, I didn't do much as far as drawing on this portion of the chart. We're almost to today. And then, wow, what the hell happened here? I don't think anybody knows. George knows, but other than that, I don't think anybody knows. We went all the way down from over 30,000, just over 30,000, down to 27.2. What the hell? And I said, hey guys, come on, this just ain't right. I don't understand what's going on here. We were making these very calculated moves, forming solid structure here. Everything was saying we should be moving upwards, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second as far as that goes. And bam, and I said, hey, don't fall for this bear trap here. Don't be fooled. We are going to quickly go back up, and we're meandering our way. Well, this is pretty quick. I mean, it's just over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. And this is where we're at today. And there's a triangle here, but it's not drawn on this thing. And I showed you that earlier. Let's go back to that, see where we're at. What's going on? Here we are. 28, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Now, what we're going to do here, what we should do, because I'm a bull, I think we should go right back up to this top of this channel right here. I think that would be sweet. And that would be this measured move right here. And we are trading right here at the bottom of the channel. I like that we're doing that, and we're showing support on the bottom of that channel. Let me go right now to a daily view and see where this channel goes. Oh, holy moly. Let's zoom out here. Excuse me. Now this channel is on an old chart I was using, and it's really tight. And so we have been trading above the channel, below the channel, and inside the channel, but it shows a trend, a nice solid trend. Actually, how far back does this go? All the way back to the FTX collapse on November 7th. We've been trading inside and around and about this channel. That's why it was so tight right here, because we were in this channel from November to mid-December. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then we've gone back and forth across it. Way down, way above, way above. So it makes perfect sense that we would turn around right here, just as we did back here in February, and head back up to the top of the channel. That's what I think is going to go happen. And then come back up here to the $34,000 range, and then maybe revisit back down here a little bit. Makes perfect sense that that's what's going to happen. Now I want to show you why we made these moves back here and broke down from those ascending triangles back here initially at April 11th, and why we came down here, why we did what we did. And you know, a lot of people talk about the DXY and how it's kind of has an influence on this and on risk assets. But there's a strong correlation, and it really pisses me off that I may as well be trading the DXY. I don't want to trade the DXY. I want to trade Bitcoin and crypto. And, oh, I should have moved that. Damn. Anyway, as I move my cursor across here, anyway, it's not going to line up because DXY doesn't trade on the weekends, so we're going to have little skips. But it'll. Okay, where were we? We were on April 11th, and we got Bitcoin on the top here. We got the dollar index on the bottom. So we were forming our nice little triangle here, and this is where we is that where? Is this where? My lord, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Let's go back to here. We broke out the 17th of April. Way over here. Okay, that's why. We were making a triangle over here. 17th of April is right here when the DXY was breaking to the upside. All right, I got to explain something here. This white dotted horizontal line at 101.733 I've gone over this in a previous video. That is a major, major, major line of support and resistance that has been hit hundreds, if not dozens of times over the course of decades, years, if not decades, in the history of the dollar index. Um, anyway, as we go along here, you can just see when the dollar index breaks down here, Bitcoin goes up. There was a sharp up move upwards right there. And then we started. When we broke below, what am I trying to say here? When we broke below this line, it was good for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin started going up as the dollar index moved down and down and down. You can see here, kept going down. Bitcoin kept going up. And then here, where we went up, Bitcoin went down on the top. Bitcoin went down, and then the DXY. Bitcoin went down sharply as the DXY was approaching that line, that dotted horizontal line, sharply. And as soon as we got rejected off it on the dollar index, Bitcoin immediately turned around. Oops, I didn't mean to click. Bitcoin immediately turned around and went upwards. Then we kind of went sideways along the dotted line with the DXY, and that's what we did with Bitcoin. And that was the weekend, actually. That's why my cursor on top just skipped over real quickly. I should be over here, actually. And here Bitcoin went down as the DXY went up and crossed the horizontal line. This is the 17th of April when we broke out of our horizontal or ascending triangle, the first triangle, and we went into another triangle. And as the dollar index was going down, then what happened? It went back up sharply here across that horizontal line and upwards, and Bitcoin dumped again right here. And all the way till the DXY started turning around. But as we're still above that horizontal line at 101.733, Bitcoin just traded sideways. And here, even as the index started dumping a little bit, no, not much, Bitcoin still went down further. And it wasn't until it looked like the dollar index was coming down, down, down quickly towards that line, Bitcoin went back up, and so on and so forth. Here, when Bitcoin took a dump again, as the DXY was going up, 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 away from that horizontal line. And as the DXY stayed above this horizontal line, Bitcoin continued to fall and continued to fall. And even though the DXY went down to the line, it didn't affect the price of Bitcoin much because traders didn't believe it had been trading so stickily along this horizontal line. No, I don't think anybody believed that it would ever fall below it. And still to this day, still trading horizontally along this line. And what happened here as the dollar index started going up away from the line, we dumped even further here. This is a weekend. And then as the dollar index went up again, Bitcoin started dumping. And then here we fell below on the dollar index, we fell below that horizontal line, and Bitcoin started pumping back up. Here Bitcoin is going down and the DXY was going down. I remember this and I wasn't understanding it. Monday the 24th, that was earlier this week. I wasn't understanding that at all. And here, just I forget what was going on, but the dollar index was falling, and this didn't seem to make much sense. Here it started coming back up as we got pretty far away from the horizontal 101.733 line. And yeah, this didn't make much sense at all here. We went back up towards the line, and Bitcoin and through the line and above it, Bitcoin continued to trade. You can see we had a little dump. I suppose if we zoomed in, you'd see more action here. But Bitcoin really didn't move as much. Probably why is because it didn't move as much going when the DXY was going down here, and so it's not going to move as much when it went back up. It was just kind of evening out there. Now here we are and falling. We started falling back towards the line and pumping and sideways, and then we dumped below the line, and this is when we started pumping. And it was um, very understandable that we did so. And because finally the dollar was breaking this line, I've been calling for this for a long time, and the dollar has really struggled with this over the past couple weeks. But I believe it will fall below this line and continue to fall. Here we are at today, and what I think it may possibly come back up to the line. We'll just wait and see what happens. It may not. And if it does, and we see a solid rejection, that would be great for Bitcoin. But over the past few days, or the past, not few days, past day, it's kind of traded sideways here and went really down here, almost to a new low. So let's see what happens. But anyway, as it started coming down here to almost a new low, is when Bitcoin pumped back up to about $30,000. And then all of a sudden, this huge dump from a triangle that we had been consolidating in here at 29.8 to $30,000. And I didn't understand why this was happening. But I guess George knows. Some alert company or something. I don't know. Now here is the dollar index is continuing to fall. Bitcoin is rallying back up. And we are at 28,802 right now. So anyway, do I have the dollar index? I do not have it here. So let's turn this into the dollar index. We don't need this chart anymore. So here's my drawing of the dollar index and where I have been predicting that it's going to head. And I have a video, back a couple videos that discusses the dollar index, so go and watch that. But anyway, I think this is where we are headed on the dollar index. These zigzaggy lines, and it's just taking its sweet time to get there. There's our dashed line at 101.733, and we are here right now. we should be down here. I do believe that we will be heading down that way shortly. There's a lot of lines there. So what we might have to do is zoom out just real quickly so I can show you. We go to a monthly view where the dollar index is going. Although that green vertical line is really a bunch of lines that I had drawn. Something else that I was showing. This is the dollar index over the course of, what is that, over 50 years, or half a century. And it is traded in this channel, this fluorescent, whatever color that is, channel. And you can see here, up through the top and down, sharply up and down. Of course, that's over the course of years and years and years. You know what? This is so covered up here with lines. But here we've gone up, 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 and we should be going down, down, down next. And where are we now? We're way up here still. We're way up here at the top. But we've come down from 114, and now we're at 101. So it's inevitable that we just continue down, down, down in this direction and into one of these channels. That was one of those many lines that we saw back on the previous thing. Okay, I'm starting to ramble. So let's go back to our Bitcoin chart. See where we're at. 28,855. We're on the daily view. We don't want to be on that. But we do kind of, because you can see how we're just snaking our way through here. It makes perfect sense that we go back this way. Another thing, while we're here on the daily view, let's see if we have we don't have the Gaussian channel on this chart. Anyway, let's go to our favorite 5-minute view. So what I wanted to do. Oh, look at how we're just dancing right along there. Come on, Bitcoin. Well, we'll see what happens here. What else can we look at? We got Ethereum here. It's kind of doing its thing in its ascending triangle. This is nothing new. So we had this fake out breakout right here last week. And what's funny is that we broke out right, you can see over here to this side, we broke out right to that level and then came back down in. But I think it's ridiculous to believe that we're going to go out the bottom of this triangle. It makes perfect sense that we will continue to trade in this this parallel channel, just like we're doing here. I think everything's just ready to break out. And when it does, it's going to go big. So get ready. What are all these guys doing here? We got red and green. A lot of green, some red on our things here. See how render's holding up. Render, okay, this is good. Render perfectly touched. We were in a symmetrical triangle here, and that's a large triangle going back to the beginning of the year here, and formed it really, really nicely. And the smaller leg here is the target that we reached from here to here at 230 something, 238. Perfectly hit that target. Well, went through it a little bit, but we're right there. And what we're doing is hopefully coming back down and testing the top of this at about 219, 218.